dash cam footage was recorded. It was made available from a police officer that was running down a motorcyclist that had been running. It was a high-speed chase. He took off, got away, eventually crashed his bike, and that's when the police caught up with him. Now, here's a quick image of that moment when they caught up with him. There will be a video of what happened as they caught up with him, but for those of you who don't want to see someone get run over by a car, look away in just a moment. So the officer is Jonathan Granado, and he noticed that he had crashed his bike and he went after him. And then this graphic moment happened. Let's watch. So that distorted sound you heard was an officer cackling satisfaction along the way that he got his man. So the police chief did point out that this was an accident. He said this Lake Worth police chief says the evidence suggests that it may have been an accident. So as soon as he applied the brakes, the car began to go into a slide. This is what this guy said. There was no criminal charges that were also filed against him. This happened in November of 2020, and we've gotten to this point where we've now seen the body cam evidence. And of course, immediately after it came out, you may believe that the police chief, what he said, it was an accident, he slid, he was just chasing, he's doing what he was doing. Also, as far as, so Grand Prairie Police led the criminal investigation into Officer Granado's crash in an attempt to be an unbiased third party. The case was sent to Tarrant County Grand Jury, which declined to indict the officer. That was just last year, and the cop did soon resign afterwards for unknown reasons. I'm not really sure why he did, considering there was no charges, and it seems like the department was backing him up on this. So when we're looking at the body cam evidence of this, after he got hit by the car, the officers, listen to what they said again. We heard the cackling, now more.
He's running on foot. Oh. Get on the ground! Get on the ground! I hit my brakes and it slid, and I hit him with the front of the car.
He ran, turned around me.
Probably shouldn't have ran then.
I know.
So he points out what happened. He slid, he hit the brakes, he slid directly into the fleeing suspect. Maybe he shouldn't have ran, because that's a consequence for running. That's a consequence for breaking the law. That's a consequence for running off from the cops, is to get hit by their car with a battering ram apparatus in the front. No, I'm sorry, I don't know the name of the equipment, but it definitely ran over a human being. So this is good police work. This is how we approach things in the country. Am I right, Rivana?
I mean, I just don't buy for 1 second that, like, I mean, maybe he did apply his brakes at the last minute and slid a little bit in the grass, but why on earth was he going that fast anyway? The man was on foot. You were in a car. You were gonna catch up to him. You could have gone significantly slower and got up to him and avoided this entire catastrophe. I mean, I think the idea that it was some sort of, prescient, like we had to catch him, we had to go this fast, we had to do that, we had to run him over. It was a traffic stop. He was running away from, like, was it an accident or it was a traffic stop or whatever? Like the consequence for that is not getting run over by a police car. It's especially given the cop saying at the end, you shouldn't have ran. I mean, last time I checked, running away from the cops is not, a near-death sentence. And there's seemingly no remorse here. It's just disgusting all around, and just so hard to watch.
Well, you said last you checked, running from the cops was not a near-death sentence, and last I checked, it is. Because this happens enough of the time that there's an adrenaline that pumps. There's something where they're like, we got to get this guy. I can't believe he would disrespect me by taking off on me. I was trying to pull him over for a simple traffic stop, maybe, or maybe something serious. Whichever one it was it serious enough to have to go through running him over and potentially killing him, then having to explain that. The last part about that is what the problem is. They probably don't have to do too much explaining when it comes to something like this. Again, his partner or whoever was there that was with him decided to say, well, maybe he shouldn't have run. So he breaks the law, he does the wrong thing, and then after that, the sentence is run him over. Even if it's an accident, now it's okay for us to do that. This is the attitude and energy that's been given and that has been cultivated when cops do things like this. It's not, oh my God, I can't believe I ran him over. Hey, okay, help me get him. Because there's no thought that this guy's gonna get back up and run. What is the thought process that this guy can get back up and do something else. Get back on his crashed motorcycle, maybe run off again. There needs to be a level of calmness, a thought process that goes through. If you're in a dangerous, high energy position like this, haven't you been trained to slow down the heart rate a little bit? Be the one who's calm. You're the officer with the car, the gun, the billy club, the handcuffs, the taser. I'm not sure how many more weapons you can have around you and means of detaining someone, and then still think, I think I'm gonna use this huge car and run him over with it instead. Again, I'll believe him that it slid, but he's angling right at him when it happened.
And I think it just also shows how little, sort of self-control he had in the situation, or like he wasn't in the right headspace to be behaving this way or be a cop at all, because he jumps out of the car and points at either his taser or a gun at a man lying on the ground and tells him, get down on the ground. He's there, he's already there. I'm sorry, you should be able to make rational and sound decisions when you have the ability to literally kill people as part of your job. And if you can't even recognize that someone is on the ground and you're telling them to do something that they're already doing, considering you ran them over with your car and they're not gonna be able to get up, you shouldn't be a cop. You shouldn't have that job.
The last thought for me on this is, for everyone who watched that, we had the graphic warning there. For those of you who did watch it, and then you saw the impact of him getting hit, you went, oh, what they did was get on the ground. Shouldn't have been running, huh? So if you support people whose reaction to that kind of an impact with a car on a human is shouldn't have been running, get on the ground, and yours is, you might just have a few things that only a couple things you have in common with this guy. You just might not be on the same level as him. You may not think the same way he does. So before you go connecting with cops to do things like this, realize that you don't really think that way. Or if you do, I guess you're signing up next week.